All right.
No, you can leave it.
Okay. Mute you for us. I'm going to take over the stage now and say welcome to everybody, both to the Craft Academy and MLH, which stands for Multi-Level Hacking, Local Hack Day. And it's a cool little event because we are running this this hackathon together with the MLH all over the globe and on many universities, and most of you guys have gotten some welcome message from that organization. You could see on their website that these events are happening today, December 2nd, across Europe, North America, Asia, Africa, etc., and Latin America, of course. And so this is an event sponsored by GitHub, Hasura, Twilio, Clarify, and here locally by us as well. So so we are a part of this bigger thing, which is exciting and really awesome. And Craft Academy is running 3 events, one in Stockholm, one in Gothenburg, and one in South Africa, Pretoria. So 2 events in Sweden and Africa. And so there aren't many of us on each location, but the idea that we have is that we can collaborate across borders and across geographical distances and still work together and get stuff done together. And I think it's pretty awesome. All right, so the theme of the day are actually the main theme for us at Craft Academy hackathons are food waste, the food waste problem. So the question we are asking ourselves is, can technology help solve the food waste problem somehow? I'll be talking a little more about that issue in a few minutes. But also, can we work remotely and learn together? That's a good question. Can we ship applications in one day, which is like, 12 hours is not much time, and can we actually get something done during that period of time? And can we have fun? That remains to be seen, of course. Some of us has been to hackathons before. Some of them have been really fun. Some of them has not been overly fun. So we'll see if we can manage to have a good time together. All right, so we can share the love. Of course, nothing happens unless it happens on social media, right? So if you tweet, if you're Twitter fans, we have some suggestions on some hashtags. And if you want to mention us, which of course we will be very grateful for, here you can see our Twitter handle, Craft Academy SC, and then MLH or ML Hacks. Yeah. Anyway, this is the Twitter handle of the organization that is organizing this on a global level, right? Okay, so the agenda is pretty simple. We get started not at 9:30, but at 10 o'clock CET. We code, and then we go home at 2100 hours or 9:30 tonight. And during the day, we will be doing some things. We will host at least 2 workshops. One, and I will be talking about them in a while, and we will have 1 guest speaker. And those times are set, but as usual in this industry, things could get moved back and forward a little bit. And so that's why we didn't put it up here, but we will announce times and what's going on and when things are happening on Slack. And I hope that all of you guys have been able to sign up for Slack for this event. And there is a special channel called Craft Academy in that Slack. And if you haven't gotten to it yet, I'll go around and help all of you to sign up for that specific channel, where we'll be coordinating announcements, news, share of progress, etc., across the Craft Academy hacks that are happening today. And the workshops we will be delivering today, if you're interested and if you can get away from coding and want to hear us talk about something and learn some new stuff, is about consuming RESTful APIs with Ember.js. Ember.js is a nice little, quite powerful actually, JavaScript front end or full stack network, you could say, or at least an MVC network framework. Damn. it's really Saturday morning. Anyway, so we will be introducing the concept of getting data from a remote server and displaying it on your front-end application. That's what I will be talking about. And then later in the afternoon, Raul, our coach from Pretoria, will be doing an introduction to version control and do a bit of a talk, but also a demo of how we can collaborate remotely using Git and GitHub while we develop the software. The guest speaker of today is Bear Douglas. She is a developer advocate lead at Slack, but she's also worked on she's been with Twitter and Facebook, and she will be joining us remotely from New York City. She's usually based in California, in Silicon Valley, but she's out traveling, and she will be joining us at 7 o'clock in the morning, New York, or Central Eastern Time, or no, Eastern Time. So she gets up really early to join us to deliver a talk and do a little bit of Q&A. So that's going to be fun. She's a great person and quite inspiring. So it's going to be very interesting to listen to her. And if you want to check her out on Twitter, you can see her Twitter handle there below. So so the workflow that we're looking for today is that we form teams of 3 to 6 developers or / non-developers, because we try to keep this hackathon open to everyone, not only people who can code. We'd love you guys to mix on-site team members with remote team members. That would be really awesome if we can get that flow going, that we can actually collaborate with people that are not on location. And if you need any support with that, I've been working remotely with people for several years, so I know exactly how to do it. I can share some tips and tricks with you guys. If you have any needs, or if you want to report on your progress, do that on Slack on the Craft Academy channel, and just say that, hey, we need help with something, or we need a team member that knows, I don't know, front end, back end, whatever, or would like to work with us and stuff. Okay, so we'd love you guys to share some code using GitHub, open source, of course. And if you don't have GitHub accounts, just talk to any of us, and we'll hook you up with it. Help you register one, and set you up with a nice workflow how you can share code together using GitHub. And basically, just the main part of this workflow that we try to advocate for today is just to have fun, right? So no pressure. If you build something, then you build something. If you're new to coding, people that are not new to coding, and we love to share our experiences and our knowledge, and just take it for what it is. Enjoy yourself, basically. There are some goodies and freebies from our main sponsors, from the global sponsors of this event. So we will be going over that in a separate talk. I think Raul in Pretoria has more info about that. Let's get back to that. But generally speaking, there are some packages that these sponsors are giving away, more enjoyable, and to basically just promote themselves, I guess, right? So GitHub is, of course, the code sharing service. Hasura is a platform as a service provider that allows you to deploy your applications to virtual servers. Twilio is a phone API company, or telephone provider, and Clarify has a fantastic API for image recognition. If you're interested, I can do a little bit of a demo with that, because you can upload a picture, an image to Clarify, and get an answer back what it actually contains, right? So it's image recognition with some quite powerful functions built into that. But let's get back to all of this stuff. All right. So finally, why do we care about food waste? So the theme of today is food waste, and why is that an important thing? Well, I think that it's a global problem that 1/3 of all food produced in the world gets wasted, both on on several levels, whether it's on when you produce food, when you transport food, when you consume food, right? Like we as individuals here in Scandinavia, we throw away 1/3 of the food we actually purchase, which right. But roughly 1/3 of the food produced in the world that is suitable for human consumption gets lost or wasted, and some differences, of course, around the world. In Europe and in North America, approximately 95 to 115 kilos a year per capita gets thrown away, and we can discuss the levels and the figures and stuff like that. But if we look at some other parts of the world, the food waste is much smaller, and we can take a look on why is that? Is that socio-economical things or the distribution things and whatever, right? Interesting discussion, and I think that it's such an interesting discussion that we can devote some time to this and see if we can do something about it as individuals. Hold on a second. Let's do Q&A. And so there are people, and these figures are taken from U.S. Food Administration website, but they claim that even if the food waste per capita in Africa or sub-Saharan Africa is much smaller, it's still, due to the population, the big population in this continent, that food that lost food could feed approximately 300 million people a year, right? And in Europe, it's 200 million people a year. But these are just figures to visualize how big of a waste that actually is, because we know that there are plenty of people around the world that are suffering, that don't have access to food. And I'm not saying that technology can solve that problem. I'm also not saying that our individual focus on this problem will solve it magically in any way. But what I'm saying is that I think that we as individuals can do something about this and contribute to a more sustainable future, and also a more fair distribution of resources. And I think that's a worthy cause, and I would like to explore if we as people can do something about this, basically. And that's the theme of the day, apart from having fun while doing it. So finally, just to finish off this presentation, I would like to thank our sponsors, of course, the global ones, GitHub, Hasura, Twilio, and Clarify. In Stockholm, our sponsor is Open Lab, which is an incubator and a community of companies that work for a more sustainable city, sponsored by, among others, Stockholm City and Royal Institute of Technology. Here in Gothenburg, we have Stena Center, where we are. Also have an incubator and focus a lot of innovation and technical development. Our food locally here in Gothenburg, at least, will be provided by Catetra, which is a new startup that works with catering, and today is one of their first deliveries. So we'll see how they cope with the challenges. These guys are actually, they sit here at Stena Center, and they are just starting up. So today it's a little bit of a premiere for them. So we'll see. We can evaluate them. We are like a focus group for them, for these guys. So that is what I had to say. And Raul, would you care to say a few words about the things that our sponsors are kind of, giving away to our attendees as goodies and freebies? You're still muted, but...
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Right. So we are getting some freebies from our various sponsors. The first one of them is GitHub, which is a platform that we use to share code online. What they're offering is, I think I could probably share my screen and just go to that page. So let's go back here.
Let me me just share.
Screen share. Okay, so they're offering a student pack, right, which includes a whole lot of other services. So you get some credits to use platform like DigitalOcean, for instance, to deploy your application, your virtual private servers. You get access to the AWS Educate platform, which has a whole lot of resources for you to learn about DevOps, how to set up servers on Amazon and maintain them and deploy your applications. If you want to get certified, you will get access to materials as well to sort of learn all about AWS. Of course, there are quite a lot of sponsors that are part of this package. If you want to register a domain, you can register a domain for free for 1 year with companies like Namecheap and so on and so on. Okay. That's for the developer pack. In order for you to claim that, you need to have a student ID, which is usually going to be either your student card from your university or perhaps an email address from your school. One thing that we will do at Craft Academy is try and see, since we are also an education company, see if we can get our students to get access to that. But in principle, all the attendees of the hackathon should be able to claim some of these goodies. You also get some credits to make use of Twilio. Twilio is a service that allows you to send SMSs out from your applications. So you get $25 in credit to make use of their platform. You also get access to the Clarify API to sort of do some image recognitions processing with their platform. And then you have Azura, which is a platform as a service. You can make use of them during the day to deploy the applications that you will be building. Then you get domain.com, which is giving you access to a free domain for 1 year, any of these domain name here, and an extra $100 from Amazon Web Services as a final freebies for the day. So that's what you get for taking part in it.
All right, thank you very much for that. In terms of challenges, we will have a few of them, of course. And one thing that I would like you guys to consider, let's see if I can get this thing shared properly. Let's see, what am I doing here? There we are, no. Let's just, no, there we go. Okay, so where am I now? I lost myself here, kind of in this thing. So there we go, and we just get, where's Raul? No, he's not with us. Well, he's not, I can't find that thing. I'm kind of lost in this. Could somebody share my screen, guys? Can you switch to my screen share? Like in the recording?
Yeah, we have it.
Okay, good. So sorry about that. So yeah, so we have a challenge posted on a website called Utveckla din stad, which means develop your city. This is done together with Open Lab, and we posted this challenge a few months ago, many months ago actually, and we kind of just had this idea that we will run this kind of a hackathon at some point. We wanted some community input on what you can do. Well, this is a new platform for Stockholm City and for Sweden, and we just wanted to see if there are any viable ideas that we could use for a setting like this, for a hackathon like this. So this is one of the some of the things I will talk about now is about the challenges that we could work on if we want, not necessarily, you're of course free to choose. But one idea that some people came up with was about social sharing of your fridge, basically. So these Descriptions are in Swedish. I think I will post a link to this site. You can auto-translate them to English. So that's definitely something you can do. Another idea that people had was pretty cool. It was, let's see. Yes, about lunch boxes that automatically detect if your food is about to get spoiled. That's a pretty awesome idea. I think if you have something in your fridge and you know, you go to work and then your friend asks you, you want to go for lunch, and you go like, yeah, why not? And you leave the lunchbox overnight and then you forget about it and stuff. So what if you could get from your lunchbox saying, hey, you have to eat me because your food, you know, I'm going to get spoiled soon, you know, and that's a huge problem. So what I did, and again, I will share all of this with you. What I did was I did a little bit of a research, and there are some people at MIT in Massachusetts that actually thought about something similar, I think, because they developed a chip that can measure some you know, chemicals and bacteria in the air, and there was like a Bluetooth chip installed in that chip, so you could actually communicate to a mobile device, right? And that's pretty awesome. So we could definitely look into that, do a little bit of research if these guys actually are up and running. You know, we don't deal with hardware here at the hackathon like this, but the idea itself is pretty interesting in my opinion. And then there was something here about exchanging fresh food between restaurants. See if we can solve that with software and such, basically. And we also have, so these are just a few ideas, you know, and feel free to brainstorm whether on Slack or here on location about these kind of things and see what you guys can come up with, right? We also have another organization that will, welcome to Postgres, really? All right. That's cool. That will come in and talk a little bit about their stuff. Do we have a representative from them? Solskyld? No? You want to come up and say a few words about Solskyld? Yes, it is. But what we could do, we could end this now, and then we set up a new one when you present that idea, basically, in like 5-10 minutes or something. No, we can just hold it for now. So there's an organization here on site in Gothenburg that will post a challenge and present their stuff. What?
I see like
Right. So so we will be setting up a different hangout for a different stream for that presentation, basically, in a few minutes. But that would be all for me now. I already talked for too long, so that's why I think everybody needs to stretch their legs. Welcome to this little event. Let's collaborate over Slack and see, just make sure everybody is on board and registered for that Slack channel, and have a great day, basically. All right. Thank you, people.
Cool.
Talk to you.
Thank you.